So today, finally, I'm going to show how I edit my pictures. It's the message I get most on Instagram is, how do I edit, what software do I use, what are my settings? So I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing you need to do is get your picture into Adobe Lightroom. So these are the pictures that I've taken recently. So you just select one of your pictures and it'll show up into the bar at the bottom. So just click whatever picture you want and that's where you'll find it. So I'm using Lightroom Creative Cloud, which is part of the Adobe suite. There's a couple versions, there's Lightroom Classic and there's Lightroom, the cloud-based photo service. It's this one that I use. I've never used Lightroom Classic, but I know a lot of people do. The first thing I'm going to do is go to my presets. As you can see, I've got a lot of presets here for different shoes, different settings. So these presets will be in the description. I'll put Fade 01, Fade 02 and Fade 03, and also my own, which I've created and messed about with, that I use on pretty much every picture with this white background. Fade 0 just gives the darker colours like a grey effect, like kind of like a smoke effect. Fade 2 just increases this, and Fade 3 is also the same. So I've chosen Lewis New. I'm going to exit out of the preset. This is your edit tab. You see exposure, contrast, colours, etc. So on the right you'll see the settings from a preset. You can see exposures increased, same with contrast. I've increased saturation, clarity, dehaze, vignette, and I'll also increase the texture, which I've been doing lately as well. The next thing to do is look for colours in the picture which need to be desaturated. For example, these obsidians, Jordan 1 obsidians, don't have colour red in them anywhere, so I'm just going to take red out of the picture completely. They do, however, have a different colour leather. It's not just white, it's like a sail colour. So I'm just going to reduce that. So I'm just going to take orange away, which doesn't affect that much at all. I'm going to reduce the sail colour, which is usually yellow and green, down to -50. Just makes the shoes look a bit cleaner to myself. So I've taken yellow and green to around -50, which is just desaturated the leather. I just like the look of it, it's all personal preference. Light blue will obviously keep. Blue will also keep. I'm going to take the purple down and this colour down as well, just like a pinkish colour. Now that we've done that, you see what the shoes look like. This button at the bottom right, show original, which is also backslash. See what the original picture looked like compared to what it looks like now. So I usually do this just to compare the colours. So I'm just going to use this target adjustment tool. And at the bottom you have three options. You have the hue, which will change the colour of the shoes, so you can make different colours. It's quite nice. You have saturation, which obviously increases saturation of the colour that you are targeting. You have luminance, which increases the brightness or how dark a specific colour is. So for these, I'm just going to increase the luminance a little bit. So when you're happy with your edit tab, I'm going to move on to crop. So I'm changing the aspect ratio to 4:5, which is Instagram's preferred aspect ratio. You get most of your picture onto the feed using this crop. So change this 4:5, and then you can change where you want the picture. I usually have it dead center or just above dead center. Then press enter. I'm going to move on to the brush tool. It's probably the most important part of when I edit my pictures. It's the part that takes the longest. There are other ways to do this, but I prefer this method, even if it does take a while to do sometimes. This is the brush on the right. You can use keyboard shortcut B to get to it. These are the settings for the brush. Size is 11, which will change when you use the scroll wheel. Feather set to 30, which will also change with the size. As you can see, the distance between the outer ring and inner ring stays the same when you change the size. Flow set to 100, density set to 100 as well. So for the brush itself and the effect, the exposures increased to 2, highlights increased to 50. I've removed all clarity, all saturation, so no colours from the background, or sometimes when the sun's out it will make the bedsheets blue. It'll remove all that, and sharpness is also decreased as well. So to start, use the left click to use the brush, and I usually go around the edges of the picture first. So once you've gone around the edge, just move closer towards the middle. to where the shoes are, or whatever you're taking pictures of. So as you can see at the top, it's not the easiest to see where I'm using the brush and where the bedsheet is. It's because the way my lighting set up is the light's at the top. So the top of the picture is going to be brighter compared to down here, which you can see changes quite easily. So sometimes you might find the background's already quite white. And when you use this tool, you can't really see if it's removing any part of the background. So the way to sort this is to go to View, Edit Tools, Show Overlay, and click Mask. As you can see, the parts that you've brushed will turn red, and then it makes it quite easy to track where you've brushed and where you haven't. So if you've missed any spots, you'll be able to see that they're white. The keyboard shortcut for this is O, but I find in this version of Lightroom it's a bit temperamental whether it works or not. So once you've brushed around the shoes and got as close to the shoes as possible without actually going over them, what I'll do next is take away the mask overlay, and I'm going to zoom into the picture. You can do this with Control Plus or Control Minus. I'll also put on the screen what it is for Mac. So I'm zooming right in, I can't go any further. I'm going to use my scroll wheel to change the size of the brush. I'm going to start brushing from this corner outwards. Just try your best not to brush onto the shoe, but if it does happen, you need to use the Alt key. And this will reverse the brush, so it'll just put back whatever you've taken off. So for example, if I've brushed into the toe box, you can see I've kind of messed the shoe up. Bit of a hold Alt, or the on-screen key for what Mac is, and use left click. You can see that part of the shoe comes back. So use this quite a lot. If you make any mistakes, you can just reverse them by using that key, brushing over anything that you've mistakenly went over in the first place. So I'm going to go around the whole pair. You'll see me change my zoom as I go around. For larger spots like the sole, you can zoom out a fair bit and increase your brush size. We'll speed this part up and you'll see what it looks like when it's done. So I've gone around the shoes in detail now. The next thing I'm going to do is bring that overlay back so I can see where I've brushed and if I missed out any parts. So I'm just going to go around the shoes from where I've brushed. If I brushed over any part, you can see that it'll also show that. As you can see here, I've missed a little part of the shoe here, and here as well. That's pretty much done. Gonna remove the mask overlay. And there we go, that's the picture pretty much done. Last thing I do is just go around, make sure there's nothing that I've missed, make sure that I'm happy with the picture, and then I export it, which is Control Shift on Windows and E. Make sure file type is JPEG, keep the dimensions the same, quality 100%, and export. So if you've enjoyed the video, just give it a like. If there's anything you think I've missed or you need help on, just give it a comment or message me on Instagram. I'll try my best to help you out as well. Thanks for watching.